Still waiting for others to join, guys. Yes. Meanwhile, Satar bhai, that I was running on PowerShell. Actually, वो command prompt का command है. That is the reason it did not work. So, can you see my screen and hear me well, guys? Can someone
Yes.
confirm? Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
route print. Just while others are joining, I'll show it to you. But clear disclaimer: it has nothing to do with Azure. You don't have to learn it. No one is going to ask you. Just because you asked, I'm showing it to you. This is how it looks. See the routing table. कि मेरा network destination ये है, इसका net mask ये होना चाहिए, gateway क्या होना चाहिए, if it is going to some other traffic, how should it go? Like I was showing you, वो जो मैं Google वगैरह ट्रेस सर्च कर रहा था, वो सबका routing table यहाँ जो है डिटेल में है कि if traffic is going to this website, किस तरह से जाना चाहिए, if traffic is going to internet overall किस तरह से जाना चाहिए, if traffic is moving to some internal network, how should it route? ये सब कुछ जो है you can see it in route table, and then route table edit, route table add, route table delete, इन सब कमांड से आप इसको edit वगैरह कर सकते हो. This is very confusing and थोड़ा सा difficult वाला ये है. Azure has made it very simple and easy. On prem में जो Windows admin होगा ना, they won't even touch the route table. Windows admin touch भी नहीं करेगा. They will simply assign it to the networking team. They'll say it's not our job. They'll simply assign it to networking team. Why? Because it is a difficult task. And for this they have a dedicated networking team. नेटवर्किंग टास्क के लिए when it comes to on prem, but when it comes to क्लाउड ने सारी चीजों को इतना इजी कर दिया. दैट इज द रीजन. सी ऑन प्रेम पे अगर आपको 4 इंजीनियर चाहिए ना, एक स्टोरेज वाला, एक नेटवर्क वाला, एक ओएस वाला, विंडोज और लिनक्स वाला, राइट? सो व्हेन इट कम्स टू क्लाउड, क्लाउड पे स्टोरेज नेटवर्क जो है सारा एक ही एडमिन, क्लाउड एडमिन से ही करवा देंगे वो काम. दैट इज द रीजन यू आर गेटिंग मोर पैकेज. हियर दे पेइंग टू 2 or 3 इंजीनियर्स. there you will be the responsible person for networking के most of the task. You will be responsible for storage के task, you will be responsible for virtual machine के task. Here you have different teams, and that is the reason cloud में थोड़ा package वगैरह भी extra मिल जाता है, because they are also saving a lot of on that. When it comes to on-prem बहुत ज़्यादा complicated होता है वो. But yes, if you have good experience with the on-prem, then cloud will be very simple and easy to you. Okay, let's see. People have joined, so let's start. Again, this has nothing to do with Azure, guys, so don't worry. जिसको समझ में आ गया ठीक है, नहीं आया, let it be clearly. Just good to know information. Coming back to our topic. So this is what we need to learn for theory part. What is a routing table? What is a route? System defined route? What is user defined route or UDR or custom routes? What is the difference between them? Where can we assign them? It is assigned at subnet level, and it should be in same region. इतने points को आप theory के हिसाब से याद कर लो, right? Now let's do the practical. Okay. Network watcher, guys, you have been asking me whenever you create some resource or something, like network watcher जो है create हो जाता है आपके resource group में, if you guys notice. Right? That network watcher is this. इस तरह से help करता है वो हमको देखने के लिए. But we are gonna see it, go to portal and see it. So let's quickly start, and then I will be explaining it to you in detail. I have already completed this practical once. So I'm not going to delete this as of now. Let it be. In case our new practical doesn't work, I can come back here and show it to you. It happens sometimes. काफी बार होता है, कुछ glitch हो जाता है. We miss some clicks or something. हो जाता है. So I am keeping this one also, and then I'm going to create a new one. Okay. So what are we going to do here is I'm just drawing a rough diagram. If you guys want, I'll make this one as a clear one, just in case you want. So I will be having one virtual network. Okay. Under that one virtual network, I will have 3 subnets. If you do not understand anything, guys, at the time of diagram, please do ask. I hope I've selected the correct stencil. So let's start. I'll create a resource group first. I'm taking a new tenant altogether, just to avoid confusion. Okay, so I'm going to create a new resource group first. This is the practical we are going to perform, route table practical. Okay. Region, let's keep it East US. Okay, do not follow the steps while I'm doing it. Focus on this one. If you want to make some notes, do that, right? But do not try to follow the same steps. Otherwise, maybe you'll be able to perform this practical successfully when I am doing it, but then you won't understand it. So it's better that you understand it here. Write down the, otherwise the recording is already there, or write down the steps on pen and paper or notepad or wordpad, wherever you want, if you want to, and then do it later. Otherwise, if you follow here, click by click, you will be able to achieve it, but later you will not understand it. Okay, so let's create a virtual network first. For some reason, it looks slow, a bit slow, portal, but we'll have to deal with it. So virtual network, let's say route table VNet. Okay, here I want 3 subnets in this one, 3 different subnets. So I'll be creating 3 different subnets here. First, I'll just name this one. Subnet 1. In this one, I will be having my virtual machine 1. What practical are we trying to do here, guys?
We are
Let me
creating a
open
route
page.
table.
Yeah. Route table तो बहुत बाद में आएगा अभी. First, let me show it to you कि कितने components लगने वाले हैं. So what I'm trying to do here, I have a VNet. I'm creating 3 subnets. And what I want, this is my subnet 1. I will have my VM1 here. Okay. Subnet 2. I will have my VM2 here. Then this is my, I'll call it NVA, Network Virtual Appliance subnet. And I will be having my NVA VM here, Network Virtual Appliance. In actual case, you will not have a VM here. What will you have here?
Firewall, physical
Yeah,
firewall.
yes, a hardware firewall. And you will not have only single machine. Single machine के लिए कोई इतना नहीं करेगा, right? Let's say under this subnet you have 100 machines, 200 machines. Under this subnet you will have 100, 200 machines. But in practical or for practice, we're just taking one machine. So what we're going to do here, let's say this one gets IP address of, or I'll write the actual IP address once the machine gets the IP address. So let's say we're trying to ping from this machine to here. Normally traffic would follow like this. This is the traffic flow, system defined route. What I want, that this traffic should come from here to here, and this is our target. This is the current state. The moment you create it, this is the current state. So we're going to see that also. कि पहले कैसा दिख रहा है. Okay, this is your current state. And this is our target state. Clear, guys, to all of you?
Yes, sir.
This is your default route. This is your user defined default route, defined route, sorry. Okay, so let's start. Subnet 1, 10.0.0, 256. So what's the IP address will I have for this machine, guys? Can anyone tell me? What do you think the IP address will be for this machine? If I deploy first machine in subnet 1, what will be my IP address?
10.0.0.4.
Why 4?
Because the first 3 IP is reserved.
Right.
First 4 actually. First 4 and last one 5. Total 5
Yeah.
IP.
Yeah. Which is the last IP?
255, 255, 255. Last one.
Right.
255.
255. Right.
Okay,
So I'm gonna create another subnet now.
So in this CIDR, there are maximum 255 IP addresses, right? And this CIDR
Yeah, yes. Yes.
/24.
Yes.
Okay.
This is subnet 2. Here I'm gonna have my which machine? I'm gonna have my machine 2, VM2. We don't even require 256. Even if I take 16, mera kaam ho jaye. We were going to deploy just one machine, right? But it's okay. We are taking 256 again. Okay, so what's gonna be the IP address for this machine? Anyone can guess? When I deploy the virtual machine in this one, what's gonna be the IP address?
10.0.1.4.
Perfect. What about others, guys? Are you getting it? How these guys are guessing the IP addresses, or it's not a guess actually?
First three are reserved for Azure, right? For Azure.
Yes. Yes, and because
portal.
subnet starts
Portal
from 1,
department.
so your IP will start from this 1. Right, ये 0 वाला
Right.
यहाँ पर खत्म हो गया है,
Right.
यहाँ से 1 शुरू हुआ है, and then this 0, ये लास्ट वाला जो आपका ऑब्जेक्ट है, ये 1 0 1 2 3 किसी और चीज के लिए रिजर्व्ड है, इसलिए आपको लास्ट वाला नंबर 4 मिलेगा. And now I'm gonna create a, let's say, network virtual appliance subnet. Okay. In this one, actually we will not have a virtual machine in actual environment. Here we are gonna have we will be having maybe a firewall or a router, anything, whichever the appliance is. But for practice, what are we going to have? It's a virtual machine again. So what's the IP address of that virtual machine? What will be the IP address of this virtual machine?
10.0.2.4.
2.4. Here it is. Okay, I'm creating it now. Tags, guys, do not forget tags. I have told you that whenever you do the practical, make sure you attach the tag. It becomes easier for me to check practicals, and you'll get a habit of it.
So, regarding the tags, I know why tags are being used, but what kind of tags we should give? Like I saw the categories over there. Let's say I'm creating virtual machines in different subnets. So I don't know, like, what is the approach to set the tags? Like I
You
can
don't have to worry
give
about
a-
it. It will be there in your naming convention and everything. Tagging policy will be there. Here you do whatever you want. I just want you to get into practice that you are not skipping the tags wala section. You do whatever you want. You
Okay.
put the task number, you put date, you type the session number, whatever. I'll figure it out. Don't worry. वैसे भी whatever practical you guys do, the moment I check it or you have done it correctly, you guys delete it, right? तो बहुत ज्यादा होते नहीं है
Yes.
confusion के लिए. But I don't want you to skip that tag wala section. Hence I ask you to put tag. So whatever you feel like, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, Sohil bhai, thank you.
And when it comes to actual environment, you will have the exact naming convention. उसमें आप case sensitive भी यहाँ वहाँ नहीं कर सकते हो. For example, tagging cost center number. Okay. They will ask you that have one tag or named cost center number, and the value should be A25M, something like this. So if they have given you like this, you will have to follow as it is exactly. You can't even make this change. See, I'll tell you. This and this one, these are not same when it comes to tagging. Now, if I go ahead and pull up a report that how many machines are there in cost center number A25N90, I will see only one machine. If my filter, if my scripting has this one, it will not pick up this one, and I'll get eventually I'm gonna get a wrong report. But why? Because there are two. And why am I getting wrong? Only because someone messed with this. This should have been like this. तो बहुत ही precisely
Okay, sir.
मिलेगा आप लोगों को, don't worry about it. When you go to live environment, tagging बहुत ही precisely होगी, but when it comes to this precise, उसमें policy भी लगी होती है. Manual work इतना होता नहीं है. I'm just letting you know कि इस तरह से भी हो सकता है. Maximum time ये होगा already वहां पे. You just have to fill the information. Information में भी this is also case sensitive. This and this are not same. Right? तो उसमें policy लगी होती है, then quality check वगैरह होता है, बहुत कुछ होता है. बट यू विल गेट इट, यू डोंट हैव टू, यू वोंट बी डिसाइडिंग. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि मुर्तजा अपने मन से कोई टैगिंग लगा रहा है, यूसुफ भाई अपने मन से कोई टैगिंग लगा रहे हैं, शिखा इज पुटिंग हर ओन टैग्स, नितेश अपने मन से कोई टैगिंग लगा रहा है ना, दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हैपन. क्लियर है? टैगिंग
Sure,
इट्स, व्हाई डू वी हैव टैगिंग? मोस्टली फॉर द रिपोर्टिंग, कि इस कॉल सेंटर में मेरे कितने सर्वर्स चल रहा है, आई नीड टू नो. अगर उसमें आप लोगों ने अपने दिल से सब कुछ भरने लग गए तो रिपोर्टिंग कभी सही होगी ही नहीं. फॉर पैचिंग के वक्त भी टैगिंग काफी काम में आता है, दैट आई वांट टू टैग ओनली दीज सर्वर्स, जो भी इस कॉस्ट सेंटर के अंडर सर्वर्स है उसी को पैच करना है, राइट? सो इफ यू डोंट हैव द टैगिंग इन प्रॉपर मैनर, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हेल्प यू. So it will come in a detailed manner, don't worry about it. Okay, so we have created already here right, I hope all the subnets and this have been created. So let's start creating the virtual machine quickly. I will require 3 virtual machines. Now see guys, this is the practical where you could use the script to create 3 virtual machines. I am gonna do it using Portal, and I recommend you again to do it using Portal, because when you do it using Portal, you will see the screens and everything multiple times, and you'll make errors. You will, if you don't make errors, you will learn something. Initially, make sure you do use Portal, but once you are well versed with the Portal, you understand the Portal very well, start using scripts then. Okay, so this is my VM1, which is under subnet 1. Okay, this is how I'm using the naming convention, so it will be easier for us to understand. VMN subnet 1. East US, do I have to create, do we require any availability feature for this practical? What do you think, guys? For this practical, do we require any availability feature? Is it mandatory?
No.
No, it doesn't
No.
matter at all, right? Okay, size and everything, it's completely fine. In any size you can take. I have this subscription, so I'm gonna take the huge one. But when you are practicing, make sure you take the smallest size, because you have to deploy 3 machines. In my subscription, it will allow me to have 3 machines with this size also. But if you're using free subscription, it might not allow you 3 machines with this size. So make sure you take the smallest size. Okay. This also doesn't matter here, so I'm just allowing, because we're not talking about this one. We're just going to focus on the routing tables. Under networking, this is my subnet 1, right? Subnet 1 machine I'm creating. So which one will I select here?
Subnet 1.
Subnet 1. Make sure while practicing, ये नहीं कर दो आपके अपने 3 अलग-अलग बना लिए और यहाँ पर आके अपने एक न्यू क्रिएट कर लिया. Don't do that. Otherwise आपका practical complete नहीं होगा. Make sure on the networking tab, you come here, you select this routing table VNet, then you select subnet 1 for our subnet 1 machine. Okay. Rest everything I'll simply just review and create, because ये सारी चीजें, it's not going to matter us for this practical. Similarly, I'll start, okay, let me click on create here. Similarly, I'll start creating another virtual machine. One thing guys, do not take 2016 or Windows operating system 2016 in this practical. उसमें 2 steps बढ़ जाते हैं, वो एक OS का glitch है. So do not take OS 2016. Take anything, 2012 ले लो, 19 ले लो, doesn't matter. Don't take 2016. It's not the case that it won't work, it will work, but few steps are will be increased. Unnecessary, जो आपके काम में आने नहीं वाले. कौन से steps बढ़ जाएंगे आपके? इस वाले VM पे, which you don't even have to deploy in anywhere in future. This what we are using just कि हमारा practical एक बार successfully हो जाए and you guys see it once. So this is the second subnet. I have already created these servers, guys. I could have used the same, but I wanted you to see all of these step by step. Hence, I'm creating it again. And when I'm just clicking next, so to understand कि वहाँ पर कुछ configuration है नहीं specific to this practical. You can use whatever you want. Don't change anything. In fact, keep everything default. Okay, here again, routing table. Which machine are we creating?
Subnet 1.
No, subnet 1 we already created. Here it is. It is being created. In fact, it has been being created.
Two. For
So
two.
here it's subnet
Two,
2.
two.
Yes, focus on these tabs, guys. Right? Again, इसके आगे सब कुछ डिफॉल्ट में रख सकता हूँ. Even if it is there, auto enable shutdown है नहीं है, doesn't matter. 7 बजे तक हम इस मशीन को रखने भी नहीं वाले. We're just gonna delete it once our practical is done. And I'll show you guys once you complete your practical, what kind of screenshot I'm looking for. I don't even have to come back to portal and check whether you have done your practical successfully or not. So one simple screenshot will let me know whether your practical was completed successfully or not. Okay, now this one we are creating which VM? NVA VM. What is NVA? Network Virtual Appliance. I'm giving this weird name to this. So we remember it well. कि यहाँ पर हमेशा virtual appliance रहने वाला है. And I don't have to write the subnet name here because there is only one NVA subnet. I don't want any redundancy. Size, I can afford this size for 3 machines. Okay, by the way, this tap out and this tap out, is it same or different? What do you think, guys?
Different.
Different.
It's same, guys. When it comes to Windows username and other commands, example, ipconfig, ipconfig and ipconfig, same thing. Or I can write this something like this also, ip. Same thing. Windows is not case sensitive. So username भी case sensitive नहीं होता है उसमें. So if I write this or write that, it's okay. Password obviously case sensitive होगा. And when it goes to Linux, it is case sensitive. Linux में, yes.
OS चेंज करना है ना, तो 2016 सिलेक्ट किया.
16 है क्या?
हाँ.
Yeah. I told you 16 पे भी हो जाएगा, but you guys don't do it because 3 steps extra हो जाएंगे उसमें. हाँ, but good you noticed, 2 steps, दो या 3 steps हमारे बच गए. So we are going with NVA subnet, okay? And before you start the practical, guys, pinging or routing table, anything, make sure you turn off the firewall completely. Otherwise, block आपका firewall करता होगा, and then you'll think कि आपका configuration सही नहीं हुआ है. I hope all of you know by now how to turn off the firewall, right? We have done that. VNet pairing वाले section में भी काफी बार हमने कर लिया. So I'm taking the remote here, this machine. Okay. And here I would prefer, guys, take remote of your this machine. NVA वाला machine है, उसका remote ले लो और वहां से private IP जो है ना उस पे let me show it to you. Let this machine get created. We can wait for a minute. Once this is created, I'll show it to you. What I'm trying to, what I'm asking you to do. Write down the steps if you want, guys. Otherwise, you'll forget it later.
Well, regarding firewall,
Yes.
regarding the firewall, it is the system Windows, our system firewall or the Azure firewall? Firewall in the Azure portal.
Which
And
firewall?
we need to turn off the firewall. We need to turn off the
Okay,
firewall.
okay.
You
Do
said.
we have we deployed any firewall in Azure? Is there any firewall in Azure? Did you see any firewall in Azure? Which one did you disable while doing the VNet peering to ping each other?
System firewall.
Yes,
Windows
system.
system
Yes,
firewall.
yes, that's what I'm talking about. Azure doesn't have a firewall by default. It's one of the costliest resource. You will see it when we deploy it. So if you have not deployed, there is no firewall. Simple.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so first thing, let me take remote of this machine. Which machine I'm gonna take? This one. NVA वाली machine का remote लेता. You can do it anywhere. This is just I'm showing it to you. आप तीनों पे अलग-अलग remote लेके भी कर सकते हो. It's up to you. But I prefer like this. तो सबको सामने दिखता है and it becomes easier. I've taken the remote on my network virtual appliance. Net SSH advanced firewall set all firewall off. Yes, that is the correct command. Yes, if you can use that. First thing, the setting which I'm doing on this machine, complete it on all three machines, all three, just to avoid any confusion or anything. Okay, now I have logged in or I have taken the remote to this machine, my NVA. From this, from inside, if I want to take remote to other machine, do you think it will work? What do you think, guys? I want to take the remote of those two machines. Let's say I did not apply any public IP to those two machines. And now I want to take remote to those two machines. Is it going to work if I take remote from this machine, from my NVA machine to those two machines?
Not possible.
Not possible.
So it is possible by using network security group.
What do you mean by network security group?
NHG लगा के हम रिमोट ले सकते हैं ना इस दोनों इस एक मशीन से दोनों मशीन में प्राइवेट आईपी से.
You already saw it, right? NSG मैंने लगाया है या नहीं लगाया है. You want to go back and you open that for you. Whatever the situation is, considering that I'm talking about. You guys saw it, right? I deployed the machine in front of you. Do you want me to go back and show it to you? What are those machines? Here it is. These are the machines I'm talking about, guys. My question is, let's say that these two machines, they do not have public IP at all. Or in fact, I'll remove it right now. Okay, we don't want to use public IP at all. I am logged into this machine. My question is, can I take remote of these two machines from this machine?
Yes.
By using Bastion.
Why would I require this machine to use Bastion? Bastion I can use directly from here, from the browser. And talking about Satar bhai, energy, right? So while creating the machine, did you not see that I applied some rule, which means NSG is already there? And still, if you want to see, I will show it to you once. Wait, see, NSG is there on both of the machines. This is the NSG. These are the rules. Now, what do you think?
You cannot take RDP.
Okay. Anyone thinks we can take? If yes, how? Why? Anyone who thinks we cannot, why? If you can't, why? Did you guys get the question properly first thing? Do you want me to explain
No.
it again?
No, Sohail bhai, please
No, I
explain
didn't.
it.
This is
Even I did
the
not
this
get
is
the
the VM. NVA VM. I am logged into this VM, NVA. And now I want to take RDP. From this machine, I want to take RDP to this machine and I want to take RDP to this machine. Forget the system route वगैरह सब भूल जाओ फिलहाल. We haven't even started the routing wala practical.
Can I answer, Sohail bhai?
Yeah, please.
You cannot take RDP by the private IP without any VPN setup or without any load balancer setup, etc. So you cannot take RDP.
Okay.
Right.
Unfortunately, guys,
Right.
all answers are wrong. Of course, we can take. You're saying we cannot take your statement is correct, Salman, but it doesn't apply in this situation. I'm telling you, I'm logged into this machine. I'm already on this machine. I have this IP with me. I am logged into this machine and I'm taking remote from this machine to this machine and from this machine to this machine. Why can't I take that?
Well, why can I answer?
Yes, I have already answered, but still, yes, try. Do you have
I would like
something
to
more to add?
see what as Salman Bhai said that we cannot take VPN from the NVA machine to any of these two, any of the other machines in the other subnets, because they don't have a public IP address firstly, and we need to connect it through VPN. Like RDP works through the internet, it works through the main internet, physical internet, and
Not
through
at all.
VPN.
Not at all.
VPN.
Incorrect.
No.
Completely incorrect. If you are already on this machine somehow, let's say this machine has a public IP or किसी भी तरह से, I told you I am on this machine. I am logged into this machine already, right? I am on this machine. Here it is. So from this machine, if I have to take RDP to this machine, neither I required a VPN nor I required internet, nothing. Neither I required public IP. Why would I need it, guys? In which subnet this IP, this machine is?
Which
The same
subnet?
VNet.
The first way.
Subnet
The
1.
first one.
This one is in
2.
subnet 2. This one is in
Different subnet.
subnet 3.
So they are in the different subnets, 3 different
Yes.
subnets.
And what is the VNet for them?
Same VNet.
Same VNet,
Same
right?
VNet.
Whatever the name is, same VNet. Question is, can subnets talk to each other by default?
Yes.
Why can't you take remote then? These
No,
are
they
not
can't.
in different
Yes.
virtual networks. These are in same virtual network, different subnets. Why can't you take remote then?
Yes. Because these subnets can communicate within the VNet, within one single VNet.
Yes.
Different
So why
subnets communicate
VPN?
within
Why VPN? Why internet? Why public IP? The only crucial
Because
step would be
RDP.
coming to this machine, and I told you you're already on this machine.
Hmm.
Yeah, RDP has nothing to do with internet, Navid.
Okay.
RDP
You said
requires
RDP, so
internet.
because
RDP requires internet when we are taking RDP on a public IP. If you're not taking it on a public IP, you don't require internet. आप अपने दो लैपटॉप को एक नेटवर्क में ले लो घर पे, and you can take RDP from one laptop to another laptop. You don't even require internet. Bring a cable, connect those two laptops with each other, assign the same range ka IP address, and you should be able to take remote. There shouldn't be any issue.
right, we are router. You mean to say why the router, like cascading kinds?
No, not talking about
somewhat like
router at all.
cascading.
Nothing.
Okay.
Why do you require router?
Okay. Through the router, like okay.
Yes, guys. What is the confusion? Basics भूल रहे हो आप लोग. Okay, so I am here on this machine. Network virtual appliance. I've turned off the firewall. Please do that. This one, Windows Defender Antivirus. Turn it off again. On all 3 machines, we have to do it. Okay? If this finishes within 5 minutes, nahi hota, to I'll complete the same on all 3 machines. And then I'll rejoin the session. So turn off all these. Okay, real-time protection ko band kar do. Feedback, close it if you want. Or even if you don't close it, it's okay. That's not going to block anything. But I do it just for the better performance. One more thing we do for better performance is you don't have to change anything here. I'm just doing it. Better performance, I do go here and select this one. Again, I'm doing it fast because you don't have to do it. It's okay. What you have to do is it's disable real-time protection, disable firewall. For firewall, here's the command. All of you have it already. If not, so if I can you instead of personal, can you ping it to all of these guys, or I can do that for you if you want.
Yeah, I can do.
So that's all. इतना हो गया आपका. Similar चीज आपको करनी है remaining 2 machines पे. So I'll show it to you now. I'll take the remote of those machines from here. क्या था IP उस machine का जो subnet 1 में है? Is it the correct IP, guys?
No, it should be
Yeah.
4.
4. See? Why do you think it will not work? Same thing you have to do on all machines. Few steps are extra on this NVA machine. I'll be showing it to you. But once we come back, 3 minute में नहीं होगा वो. I have to explain those. So the only steps which is pending, the only step which is pending on that machine, I'll show it to you later after this session. So here from this machine, this one, जो NVA वाला virtual machine था उसमें हूँ मैं, और वहां से I have taken a remote of another virtual machine, which is our 10.0.4, which is our subnet 1 machine. I can take one more remote to our subnet 2 machine. If you guys are getting confused, please let me know. What is the IP address for this one? 1.4.
Yes.
Okay, so now I have machines named 1.4 and I have this one 0.4. Okay, here it is. On both machines, we have to do the same configuration what we did on our NVA machine. So this is and while performing these practicals, guys, don't get confused. बहुत सारे आपको similar दिखेंगे यहाँ पर. So make sure you are always check host name. Always focus here that you're performing it on the correct machine. ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि now I was typing the command on the NVA machine and I thought that was the command that was PowerShell window for this machine, but that wasn't the case. Make sure you always keep an eye here. See 10.0.0.4, 10.0.1.4. So I have to do the settings in these two machines. I want to open PowerShell first. And only two things I asked you to do is, one is turn off this using PowerShell. I have turned off the firewall and turn off this one. Completely turn off everything.
Well, bhai, can we turn off this by the command real-time protection?
This Windows Defender, it doesn't work properly. I've tried that multiple times. It's better you do that. Okay, guys, only 1 minute is left. Session is about to over. So what I'm gonna do is I will be doing the same practical, same steps on this machine. Which machine? 1.4. And then we'll start the session in 5 minutes. And we'll come back and then I'll show you the next steps. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, bhai.
So we'll take a break of 5 minutes. I'm stopping the session now. After that, same steps I'm gonna do on the second machine. After that, I'm not gonna do anything. I'll wait. Once we start the session, I'll show it to you how we ping, how we check, how we trace. We are gonna do that. So see you guys at 15:25, same link.